For step 1, I start by removing the system unit case using a screwdriver. I take out the screws that hold the case in place and carefully pull off the side panels. This gives me access to the internal components of the system unit. I make sure to handle the screws and case panels with care to avoid damaging it. Step 2. I disconnect all cables from the motherboard, including the SATA cables, fan cables, and others. I make sure to take note of the connections for easier reassembly later. I carefully pull out the cables from their connectors, taking care not to damage any of the pins or connectors. This step is crucial in ensuring that I can access and remove the various components without any obstacles. By disconnecting the cables, I can now focus on removing the components themselves. Step 3. I unscrew and remove the power supply unit, making sure to disconnect its cables first. I carefully remove the screws that hold the power supply in place and gently pull it out of its mounting bracket. I take note of the power supply's connections to the motherboard and other components and make sure to disconnect them before removing the power supply. With the power supply removed, I can now access other components that were previously blocked. For step 4, I remove the hard disk drive or the HDD from its mounting bracket. I carefully unscrew the hard disk drive from its bracket and gently pull it out. With the hard disk drive removed, I can now access other components in the system unit. Step 5. I carefully pull out the RAM modules from their slots on the motherboard. I make sure to handle the RAM modules by the edges, avoiding any contact with the electrical components. Next, I unscrew and remove the CPU fan and heatsink assembly from the motherboard. I carefully remove the screws that hold the fan and heatsink in place and gently pull them out. With the CPU fan and heatsink removed, I can now access the CPU itself. Finally, I identify and locate the CMOS battery. With this, I have completed the disassembly process.